वेलकम एंड आज हम सबसे पहले बनाने वाले एक मंथली एक्सपेंस ट्रैकर जहाँ पर हम लोग मंथली एक्सपेंस को अपना ट्रैक करेंगे कहाँ पर हमने कितना खर्च किया है विद कैटेगरी अमाउंट एंड डेट। सो ये बिगिनर फ्रेंडली होने वाला है होपफुली एंड या हम लोग 3 फाइल के साथ काम करेंगे। एक होगा एक्सपेंसेस के लिए जहाँ पर हम लोग उसको डिफाइन करेंगे एंड होगा एक मैनेजर एंड होगा एक मेन फाइल। एंड अगर आपको थोड़ा भी नहीं पता कि किस तरीके से मल्टी फाइल्स के साथ काम करते हैं तो इस वीडियो से आप लोगों को थोड़ा बहुत अंदाजा लग जाएगा। So yeah, let's continue with the video. So in this video I'm gonna build a money expense tracker and आज शुरू करते हैं। So सबसे पहले हम लोग एक फाइल बनाने वाले हैं जिस फाइल का नाम हम यहाँ पर रखने वाले हैं let's say expense.py. Okay, now I need 3 files actually, so let's just make them. And I need a manager.py and I need another file and main.py. Okay, so let's go with the expense.py. So we're gonna build our code. So here I want to make a class of expenses like this and define, we're gonna say init. Okay, so we don't need these things. We need, okay, in the expenses what are we gonna take कि हमें चाहिए कितना अमाउंट उस खर्च होने वाला है। सो अमाउंट हमें चाहिए एंड हमें चाहिए कैटेगरी, किस कैटेगरी में खर्च किया है एंड किस डेट में खर्च किया है। ठीक है, सो ये 3 मुझे चाहिए। सो बस विद दैट सेल्फ डॉट अमाउंट equal amount sub dot category equals category and self dot a date equal date. Perfect. And we need to show those stuff. So def def show expense of self and we're gonna return not this. Okay, I got it. So I'm gonna say self str. Okay, self str underscore self, and then we're going to return with an f string date sub dot date. Okay, we're gonna get a sub dot date and we're gonna use this thing and then we will get our, let's say, category. So we're gonna get our category, so sub dot category, and then we're gonna get our date. So let's go date sub dot date. I'm sorry, sub dot date. This will our expense. So this will take our expenses. Whatever we're gonna spend, this will take our expenses. Let's go to the manager.py, and here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that expense tracker, I believe. Okay, so let's do this. From expenses you're going to import expenses. That's it, that's the thing. Now here I need a class. We need a class of expense manager, and we need to define it underscore self. Oh, you need underscore. I do just need a self parameter. Here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say कि कितना खर्च हुआ है. So I'm gonna say self dot expense equal a list. um, expense equals a list of कितना खर्च होगा उसका, लाइक एक एक लिस्ट के हिसाब से वो आ जाएगा। एंड लेट्स डू दिस सब डॉट एक्सपेंस आ गया। एंड देन आई वांट कि देखो, अगर आप खर्च करते हो तो मंथली इनकम के हिसाब से आप खर्च कर ट्रैकिंग रखना चाहोगे। सो लेट्स डू दैट सेल्फ डॉट monthly income equal 0. So here we go. So we had our expense list and monthly income. Now I need to set it with the user's possibilities. Like if user earn 25,000 per month, 1 lakhs per month, it's up to users. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's go into it. So now I define some functions called. Now I want, okay, in this function, I need to add expenses. So I'm going to say add underscore expenses with the self parameter, and I'm gonna take amount, sorry, amount, gonna take category, category, and we need date. Here you go, in this parameter. Now how can I add these expenses into our this expenses? So I'm gonna say expenses equals expenses equal expenses. Okay, let me do this. Expense equal expenses, and then we need our date first. Let's go with the date. Let's go with category. Let's go with category, date, category, and amount, something like this. I think that makes sense. And then return the expenses. Then I believe that we need to return the expenses. Okay, so we did expenses and we need to append. Okay. So no, we don't do that. We're gonna do what I'm gonna do, bro. Let me think. Should we return it like when we add something in our expenses, and I need to okay, so we need to append this to our expenses, because we defined our expenses list, but we access this with the category of expenses. मतलब एक्सपेंसेस के हिसाब से हम एक्सपेंस के अंदर बोस को एक्सपेंस किया है, बट हमने इस एक्सपेंस को इस एक्सपेंस लिस्ट में ऐड नहीं किया। सो कैसे, वो एक लिस्ट है, सो कैसे ऐड कर सकते हैं? सो यहाँ पर हम लिखे सब डॉट expenses dot append the expense. Here we go. Okay, so that's thing, and we need another function, the add expense. Okay, we need to give another function called monthly income. So set underscore, I'm gonna say income. So I'm gonna set the income. Now whatever this person going to earn, so let's go with this set income to, we're gonna save it uh, where I'm gonna save it over here, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna say okay, सब इनकम पे यहाँ पर एक और हमारा पैरामीटर आएगा इनकम। इनकम पैरामीटर हमारे मेन डॉट फाइल से आने वाला है, क्योंकि अगर मैं ओके इनकम मुझे सेट करना है, तो ऑब्वियसली मुझे सेट यूजर से लेना पड़ेगा। सो ये पैरामीटर में सेट इनकम आएगा। परफेक्ट। Perfect. Yeah, here we go. So, uh, so how I can append it to this. So what I'm gonna do here is mm, same work like the self dot expenses. So यहाँ पर हम लिखेंगे self dot monthly income, and then we're gonna say income. Okay, so okay, my mistake. Actually, we need to do this. Self dot monthly income equal whatever the income we're going to get. That's it. Yep. Then set income, then add expenses. मंथली इनकम सेट हो गया, कितना एक्सपेंसेस हमने खर्च किया वो हो गया. देन वी नीड टू व्हाट तो हम ऐड करेंगे मंथली इनकम, एक्सपेंसेस खर्च कितना किए हैं वो करना है. अब हमें देखना है हमने कितना खर्च किया हुआ है. सो टोटल कितना खर्च किया है, सो वो हमें देना है. सो लेट्स गो विद दिस टोटल expense, total expense, made a sort parameter. So now this is kind of a catchy thing. So let's do this. We want to return. Um, we're going to return self dot expenses. Okay. Okay. Self dot expenses. But here I'm looking at for EXP. EXP stand for expenses, expense. For expense in self.expenses, we need to return this expenses with the amount where the subtotal expenses have the amount of the expense of all the category, all the expenses. Okay, so we're gonna return it, but with the sum. We're gonna return sum of expenses of self.expenses. Okay, here we go. So it's kind of catchy for me, but it's okay. Now we get total expense कितना खर्च हुआ, अन्नो कितना बचा हुआ है. So dev remaining remaining balance. So remaining balance क्या होगा, जो भी हमारे monthly income है, तो होने से return self dot monthly income minus self dot total expense. Now total expense is returning something, so we're going to call this function and it will return our remaining balance. Okay, so we get set income, add expenses, total expenses, and we get remaining balance. Now let's say you wanna see कि वो कहाँ कहाँ खर्च किया है. So हमें यहाँ पे step so expenses. So expense. So if you wanna see कि कहाँ कहाँ पर वो खर्च किया, मतलब ऑब्वियसली कितनी जगह पे खर्च किया, so उसके लिए हमें कुछ नहीं करना है, हमें एक लूप यूज करना है for the self dot expenses. So let's go with that. So for we're gonna use the same expenses in self dot expense. So self dot expense में जो भी है, we're going to for exp in self dot expenses, we're going to print all the exp, all the expenses will print. Okay, all the expenses will print on I want and this function. Okay, now self dot expense will be expenses, so it will change into this and this. Ew. सो जो भी एक्सपेंसेस खर्च होगा वो हमें इस फॉर्मेट में मिल जाएगा, I believe, because we take the expenses with the expense and we expense this to this. Yep. ठीक है, this will be the final for our expenses. Now we are going to the main.py. Now I want कि ये हर बार चले जब भी मैं कोई भी वर्क कंप्लीट कर लूँ. So we're gonna use while true loop, gonna print how are we going to print um monthly expense tracker, something like this. ये just मतलब अच्छी तरीके से यूज करने के लिए. And we're gonna use a new line after this, and we're gonna print. Now we're gonna give the options. So I want, so सबसे पहला इनकम मतलब क्या है कि आप एक मंथली इनकम सेट करो. So इसी तरीके से हम लोग इसको पूरा करने वाले हैं. So we're gonna do actually what I'm gonna do is main.py, and I'm gonna take this here and here we go. So it will be up here ताकि मुझे थोड़ा सा ये देखिए कौन से की पे मुझे क्या शो करना है. शो had income. So then going to print. So what I'm gonna do for some time, I'm gonna copy paste this. I don't know कितना टाइम मुझे चाहिए होगा, but ठीक है. Let's go with to add monthly income, then add expenses. So let's add expenses for third one, total expenses. So show total expenses. Now for the fourth one, we're gonna say remain balance. Show balance. And for the fifth one, show all expenses. So all expenses, and if you press 6 to exit. Okay, perfect. This will be our while true loop. Now here, okay, for this reason I need to import. So from manager we're going to import expense manager, and हम लोग बार बार expense manager को कॉल नहीं करना चाहते. So that's why I'm going to give it a name, expense manager equal expense manager, something like this. So we're going to use this expense manager. We don't need to call this every time, but we need to use expense manager. Okay, here we go. Here I'm going to give it a choice equal, I'm going to say int input, enter your choice. So I'm going to say if choice equal 1, then add monthly income. So we need to call that this function. So what I'm gonna do, okay, we need choose I'm gonna say income equal float time actually. So it should be a decimal number of his income, like 25.500 rupees. It depends on float. I'm gonna say input enter monthly income. So whatever you're gonna put, so income float, and then whatever the income I'm gonna get, I need to give it to this. So how can I do that? So I'm gonna say expense manager dot set income, then we're gonna give this to this. So we take income and we set the income. We take the parameter income to this expense manager to here. We take this expense manager and we give a parameter. So this parameter is over here, and it's going to take this to the expense manager and set it to the monthly income, and it will become that one. Okay, that makes sense. Elif choice equal to to add expenses. So add expenses means it's going to give this all. So I'm gonna say amount equals input enter amount. Okay, input enter, so this should also be going to float, so let's go with that one. And then it will be category equals, this should be a string, it does matter. So I'm gonna say enter category. Here we go, it will enter category. And for the date, I'm gonna take it as a string. So I'm gonna say enter date in this format. So I need first date, so I'm gonna say पहले date आएगा, फिर month आएगा, फिर year आएगा. So in this format I need to give it, if it should give it to me. Okay, and we're going to return all of those to our expense manager actually. So uh, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna return it here. So let me do this. How can I do it? मतलब same ही है इसकी तरह. So I'm gonna sorry, expense manager dot add expenses, and then we need to go with this amount category and date. Now I had a thinking, like I'm taking the date later, it's later, and I use the date first. Category, let's see if it starts to work. So I'm going to change this to in this layout. Okay, it will return to this. Okay, and if I use a print function after this, monthly income is set, then हम इसके बाद एक नया line ले लेंगे, and for this, and I'm going to use print. So now the thing is, I'm going to use I'm going to say your expense is added. Is being added? Is added. Okay. Then we need another Elif choice. I know this video is gonna be a bit long, but the thing is, it's also for beginner friendly. Like I'm learning Python with ChatGPT, and I kind of managed to learn it. So yeah, let's get 3, not JavaScript. Here we go. And if you choose 3, so total expenses. So it's easy. So I'm just gonna show कि कितना खर्च हुआ. So I'm gonna say just rent with an app string. I'm gonna say you spend, and here I'm gonna show him the how can I show him. So I need to just call the, okay, so I need to do this expense manager dot total expenses and I need to call it. So it will show कितना खर्च उसने किया है. ठीक है. Elif choice equal for, so for the 4 1, so balance. So I'm gonna show it's I'm gonna first show his monthly income. And okay, so I'm gonna show you how much he spent and how much is remaining, right? So balance. So let me show this. First of all, I'm gonna show him. Okay. So I'm just gonna print um, your monthly income. So okay, मैं इससे करता हूँ कि कितना खर्च किया है एंड कितना बचा हुआ है. Isn't it is going to be good? कितना खर्च किया है एंड कितना, मतलब कितना मंथली उस. So here we go. So I'm gonna say monthly income. Monthly, what's the monthly income? Monthly income is I'm gonna get it from here. So I'm gonna say expense manager, and yeah, I'm gonna take dot set income. What? Okay. So it's take a parameter, but I don't need the parameter to show him. Expense manager. Then how can I show him the monthly income? How can I show? And just show him the income option, whatever the income is, and then I want to say print, and he want uh, so balance. So how much he spent, right? So okay, no. I'm gonna show total spent actually. So total spent, कितना है? That one, expense manager dot total expense, जितना खर्च किया है, and कितना बचा है? Remaining balance. Remaining balance will be. So अगर मैं यहाँ पर स्पेस यूज कर रहा हूँ, मतलब कॉमा यूज कर रहा हूँ, तो I don't think so. Okay, let's use a comma. So अगर मैं comma यूज कर रहा हूँ separately, तो I don't think so I need to use these things. Here you go. Okay. Okay. So remaining balance क्या होगा? Expense manager dot remaining balance, we can call it, and it will show और कितना खर्च बुक कर सकते हैं. And let's go with Elif choice equal 5. So sorry for that. And if it says a 5, so all expenses, so you just need to do this. We had a print function, so I need to call expense manager dot so expense. Here you go, and it will show all the expenses. And Elif choice equal 6, we're going to break this, but उससे पहले हम लोग प्रिंट करवाएंगे exiting program and with the new line. Now the thing is, put a new line over here, expense keyword. Here we go. I think we're done, and we need a L. input, something like this, invalid input, and I think we're done. So let's open our console. Here we go. Money expenses. Hopefully it's going to work. So Python main.py. Okay, okay. And monthly income. Let's use one. Let's use for now to 20,000. Monthly income is set. Okay, monthly income is set. So balance अगर मैं 4 प्रेस करूँ, monthly spend कुछ नहीं, remaining balance 20,000. It means it's set it. Okay, perfect. Now let's use 2 to add expenses. Enter amount. Let's say I spend 2,500 rupees in computer, and date will be like 14/12/2024. Your expenses is added. Now if I see total expenses, okay, 3 पे जो हमारा show total expense है, there is some problem here. So it says self amount for XP in self dot expenses unsupported operand type string or and then string. Yeah, समझ गया. Okay, so the problem is this. I took date as a string, and if you check this in in here, if you check, we use amount first, but when you add it, it's like a date. So that's what the string problem. So let's go with this. I'm going to do this, and it's gonna be date. Okay, perfect. Now let's come over here, Python main.py, monthly income, 30,000 rupees. Add expenses. So add expenses, let's go 2,500. Category computer, date 14/12/2025. Add expenses added. Now let's go with 3. Finger crossed. You spent 2,500 rupees. It works. It works. Okay. So balance. If I press so balance, it says मंथली स्पेंड मैंने खर्च किया है 2,500 रुपये, एंड रिमेन बैलेंस है 17,500 रुपये. परफेक्ट. नाउ सो ऑल एक्सपेंस, इफ आई प्रेस 5, it's a date इतना category computer, and let's actually use another expense. Let's use 500 or 400 category फूड पे हमने खर्च किया है. डेट वही उसी डेट पे 14/12/2025. If I enter it, and now if I go for 5, now you can see date this, category computer, food, date, category this, and here we go. And yeah, it's all done, and kind of managed to learn with all of the stuffs, and it's really works. I love it. And now if I press 6, exiting your program. Let's go. So hopefully you're gonna like this video. If you like it. Yeah, ये जो भी मैंने सीखा पूरा चैट जीपीटी के मदद से सीखा हूँ. जो भी मैं अभी कर रहा हूँ वो पूरा का पूरा लॉजिक बिल्डिंग जो भी है, I don't know, but yeah, it's really just works with ChatGPT Pro. And if you like it, like this video. मिलता है अगले वीडियो में. बाय.